All right, Will King here, and today on the Build Show, I want to talk to you about drones and how I've used them in my construction company over the last, I don't know, 7 years to really make job sites better, the customer experience better, and ultimately our marketing and our business better. So let's take a look at the different options that are out there. So if I'm gonna pretend for a second that you know nothing about a drone and you're just trying to figure out, where do I start if I want to buy a drone for a construction company? Maybe you've seen them out there and people have been posting pictures with them and videos with them, and you've been a little bit scared to take that plunge and go buy your first drone. So I'll tell you that they're actually incredibly easy to fly. When I first bought mine back, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, I was very nervous to fly it because I just had this fear that it was just going to fall out of the sky and crash, and then I would just lose the, $1,500 that I paid for it. Keep in mind, drones today, they're going to range in price a lot. So I think the cheapest one I can find that I would recommend to you is somewhere in that $400 range. Now, and you can go up to, 2,000, 3,000, or even in the more of the commercial series drones. And at that point, you're $15,000 and up. But I'll tell you that the basic version, let's say the DJI Mavic Air or Mini, I think it's the Mini that I was looking at earlier here. About $400. It's going to get you a 4K gimbal, so you get really high quality video and pictures. And I said they're very easy to fly, so they have lots of safety features built into them. So if you just let go of the joysticks, the drone just stops in midair, and then you can. It's really, if you ever drove RC cars as a kid or you played video games, you can fly a drone. It's really not complicated at all. And also, if you're curious and you don't know this, most drone controllers just use your iPhone or your Android phone to use the app, and that's what you actually use to fly it on the controller. So the controller is going to hold your phone, it's going to plug in just like your phone charger does, and then that's going to give you the ability to have a screen that has the live view of the gimbal as you're flying it. And there you can also change all your camera settings, swap from video to camera, and that kind of thing. So let's talk about how I use them in my company. And maybe there's some things that you haven't thought about yet. To start with, initial layouts are a big deal. So when a customer first comes to us and they have a lot that we want to go look at, the first thing we do is we take the drone with us, because when we get there and meet the customer, we're going to go ahead and fly it and get a few shots overhead just for the future. So when we start talking about what size house they want, where it's going to sit on the lot, that kind of thing, we can reference those pictures and show them how we think it would fit best on the lot. We can also share that with the architect or their draftsman, for example. So that alone has been huge for us to have that data from the first meeting. And we talk about layouts. Now, I will say on the back end of the house, when we're actually kind of wrapping up construction and we're talking about driveway layouts, we're talking about landscaping plans, we use a drone a lot for that. So I can fly the drone overhead, take a direct downward shot of the house, and if you know the width of the length of your truck, or the length of say the roof line of your house, you can scale that photo, and then you can actually draw out a driveway, and so that way a client can understand the layout you're talking about, and then you can even do some calculations based off of that photo as well. So if you're trying to figure out sod or concrete for your driveway, you can make some really good estimates with those photos. That has also been big for us. And also with that, you can even do septic tank layouts. So we'll take a photo after our septic field lines are installed, and from there, we can scale it, and then we can dimension out those field lines, and then how far off, let's say, a house or a tree, some type of reference point they are. So in the future, when that customer is needing service work done or they're adding a pool, they can find those field lines very quickly. One fun fact that I actually didn't realize until a few years ago with the drone, you can check rough elevation. So let's say you go out to that customer's lot. They just take you out to a lot and say, here's what I want to build. Here's where I want to build it. and they're going to ask you the question, what kind of foundation? Is it a crawl space? Is it a slab? Is it a basement? What do I need on this lot? That's definitely something that we get asked here on the lake all the time. So if you're by yourself and you don't want to break out the laser and a long pole to try to shoot the elevation difference from top to bottom of this lot, you can simply take off with the drone from one spot and fly it up to the spot where you're standing or the other end of the lot and check the elevation there. And that's going to get you really close in just the fall of the lot just by using the drone. And this is an easy one-man operation. It comes in a little case and it's very easy to deploy. And also while you're doing that, you can go ahead and grab pictures of that customer's lot to use for later. So I would definitely recommend using this for initial surveys and trying to check those elevations. That has really been a time saver for us. The other thing is inspections. You know, that's something that when our framers get done, and let's say they've rolled the zip tape on our roof decks, we'll fly the drone, we'll get some really good shots, and you can just simply pull those up on your iPad or computer screen and see if they've missed any tape or if there's any big creases or any issues associated with that. You can also mark up the areas from those photos and tell your roofer or tell your framer, whoever's putting down your peel and stick, where, or I guess what all areas you want that to be applied. That's also very helpful. And then once your roofers start, I like to get several photos of the house while they're roofing so that I can do flashing checks, because let's be honest, some of these roofs, if they're a 16 pitch roof or it's freezing cold outside or whatever the case may be, it's not enjoyable to constantly get on the roof to check these things behind your roofers. But if you have a drone, all you have to do is fly it over the roof, zoom in on those problem areas, get really good photos of the flashing. Then you can inspect it from that. But more importantly, you can save those for the future. So if you ever have a roof leak later, you can always reference those and figure out, okay, well, I know that this was flashed appropriately. Here's what it looks like, but this may be a problem area. So that gives you a place to go look at when you're trying to find a water leak, if that ever happens to you. So that is a big deal for drones, and it's safe, and it's obviously a much safer option than climbing on a roof. So that alone, I would buy a drone just to do that with if you're a builder. And then also marketing. I think that's a thing that everybody has different levels of, and then some people are more interested in it than other builders. But having the ability to take really nice drone photos of your job sites during construction or even at the end, that is great, great content to use on your Instagram, on your Facebook pages, on your website, wherever you're posting, wherever you're updating customers of your work. Being able to capture it with a drone is critical. And again, I would buy a drone just for that reason alone. So I can't speak enough good things about drones. It's a big part of our company on a daily basis. Now, if you're shopping for drones, I would encourage you to look at DJI first. That's been a really good brand for us. They seem to be very user-friendly. They have a great website. And they've been very dependable, honestly. And also, this is not a sponsored video by DJI, so please don't think that. We've just had good luck with them. I've been using them since I first got started in construction. I bought a DJI Mavic. The original Mavic was my first drone, actually. I think this is the Mavic 3 today, but I would definitely encourage you to look at DJI. Just go to their website, and you can read all about the different options, and you can actually purchase it straight from their website. But anyway, guys, I hope you learned a little bit about drones and how you may can utilize those in your construction business. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please go do so. It's at Will King Builds. And just remember, iron sharpens iron. So keep grinding, keep watching these videos, and we'll see you right here on The Build Show.